This video is not financial advice and does not contain adequate information to base financial decisions off of. We are not financial experts. We are only discussing finances in the context of our experiences and what we would personally do if we were hypothetically put in these situations for the purposes of entertainment.
I've been thinking a lot about money and about not having money and about negative money as our economy continues to go downward in a big slide. I think a lot more people are finding themselves in debt. I forget what the actual numbers are, but I know most people in the United States, at the very least, are in some form of debt. I technically have a form of debt. Not technically, I just do. I had to take my cat to the emergency hospital last year, and fortunately, I was able to do like a 0% payment plan. So we've just been paying the minimum on that up until the last month, where I'm just going to pay the whole thing off. But most people don't have that luxury, and they're being completely fucked over by insane APR on credit cards, loans, student loans especially. It seems like it's impossible to live today without some amount of debt. So we're going to go on Reddit and see if we can find some people that are struggling with that, and maybe even some people that have some advice as to how to get out of debt. Do you have debt, little guy?
No. Would you ever have the worst malware or go into $5 of debt?
I'm thinking, there's an r/debt. That makes this easy for me. Wow, easy video alert. So this is from LogicalStill8622. I just added it all up and I'm sick. Also told my husband all of it. $41,000 of unsecured debt, credit cards, personal loans, lines of credit, house security system, dog's credit card, which I'm trying to get reimbursed from insurance on it.
They gave their dog a credit card?
People will offer credit cards for like really specific stuff. I mean, most people don't just have thousands of dollars sitting around for an emergency. The credit card that I had to take out for my cat's surgery, for example, I got on with like an introductory period where it's like 0% for a year. So as long as you don't miss any payments, like that can be a pretty good deal. But yeah, there are certain companies that will specifically offer credit cards for pets or for pet care.
For the record, I knew that dogs can't use credit cards. I was just being silly.
Oh.
Cats can use credit cards.
Oh my fucking God, they drive me crazy with that. My cat bought an AR-15. But yeah, I work in a bank and we do offer loans. Like I will take loan applications for people. And I've had people come up and say like, they won't let me take my dog home unless I get the money from this loan today. And that's totally fucked.
How do you know they're telling the truth?
Oh shit. I mean, they wouldn't admit my cat until I verified that I had like the funds to pay for all of it, which was like $5,000. The actual surgery ended up being a little less than that. I think it was like $3,400, which, you know, split up among 12 payments at 0% interest isn't as bad as paying $3,000 up front. But they did require that I verified that I could pay for it up front. And I think they even set like a limit. They were like, you need to at least be able to pay up to here. And because it could potentially go twice as much as that, you have to be able to cover twice as much as that, but you can pay half of it up front. So that's what I ended up having to do. Husband makes $4,500 with disability benefit and pays our $2,700 MTG. What is MTG? I feel like I should know. No.
He's using all their disability checks to build a white control deck.
I don't know what that means. Okay, stupid, I'll tell you. It means mortgage. MTG short for mortgage. I don't know why I was so confused about this in the moment, but watching back now, I'm almost positive that's what they meant. I assume that's just like their monthly expenses. No! I pay the HH bills. After all is said and done, I am negative $300 each month, and I can make an extra $800 through DoorDash Uber Eats a month, so I'll throw $500 extra at it. I cut my phone bill and every bill as much as I could. I'll start slow, but by the end of this year, I'll pay off one card, and that's an $86 a payment, which will free up more money to go towards debt. I can't bring myself to bankruptcy. Tell me I can do it, please. $41,000 of unsecured debt is insane because they don't say what everything is for. I don't think that everything is necessarily for needs. I don't know why you would need a line of credit for the house security system.
Well, the person there said their husband's on disability, right?
Yeah, $4,500 with disability. But I don't know if that means they're working and they get disability benefit, but either way.
I mean, it might just be that the husband was the primary breadwinner and then became disabled. That's what happened to my mom's family.
Or it could just be whatever his disability is costs more than that $4,500 a month, and they're just like not able to handle it. You really shouldn't have given your dog a credit card, as they're notoriously irresponsible with finances.
See, that's what I said. Give that guy an updo.
Give that guy Reddit Gold right now.
No, that's how you get into credit card debt. If you're doing loans at your bank and you see like Reddit Gold in the purchase history, you should just deny them forever.
I don't make the decision. I just I take the application.
Rise through the ranks, Michael. Become the lord of banks and make sure that anyone that bought Reddit Gold is financially powerless. I hate Reddit.
What? Why are we doing this?
Money.
Oh yeah. Anyway, speaking of money,
I don't know what their situation is, but I feel like a lot of cases people are okay because they have a certain level of income and then for whatever reason cannot make that with how they're living, whether it be they never changed career and inflation has affected how much they can pull in versus expenses, whether it's a divorce, illness, disability.
And lots of jobs are just being slashed and like paying less because they can automate a lot of it now.
You'll notice
especially with AI.
You'll notice a lot of financially literate elderly people are downsizing, getting smaller houses, lower payments to manage their resources with what they have until they die.
88-year-old with credit card debt.
Oh no.
I have started to take care of my grandmother, age 88, and discovered she has $26,000 in credit card debt across 4 different cards, which she has been living off for the last 10 years. She does pay the minimum balance due every month, but now the interest payments are more than 50% of her income, which is only her Social Security. Her monthly Social Security is $1,100. She has no savings, she doesn't own a car, a house, she owns no assets of any kind. She currently rents a small apartment by herself. She is dependent on the family for financial support to cover all living costs outside of her Social Security income. Curious at this stage if it's better not to pay them at all, or send a judgment letter to the bank creditors to notify of her financial situation, or apply to a debt collection loan to consolidate the cards into one lower APR debt loan, or file for bankruptcy. Don't put your 88-year-old grandmother through bankruptcy. If I'm being fully honest, I would probably just stop paying the credit cards.
What happens when you die with debt?
They may try and take it out of your estate before they pay out all of your benefactors. They may try and sue your estate. But from what it sounds like, she has no assets and no income.
I was gonna say, and you can't just push debt onto living people after the person dies, right?
It depends how you have it set up. If you are a co-signer on like a loan or a credit card with someone, it's possible that they could try and push that onto you.
But they just found out about it.
I think certain loans now are eligible to be passed down, which is fucked, but I think that's true. I think student loans specifically can be passed down. Hold on, let me see. Exceptions where debt can transfer. Like I said, if you're a cosigner, if you're a spouse, attached property. Okay, so typically no. Okay, I don't know why I thought that. I thought that student loans specifically had a thing where they could potentially be passed down. I guess just because student loans are just fucked in every
Does your
sense.
brain just make everything the worst version of itself possible?
Probably. Well, the fucked thing about student loans is even if you file for bankruptcy, you can't write off student loans. You still have that debt until you either pay it off or die. Because they can't like reclaim the knowledge that's in your head, I guess, which I still don't really understand, because really the benefit of going to college is that you get the degree. I think a certain amount of that should be able to be written off, but what do I know? 44 male drowning, 1 million plus in debt from credit card, 500,000 more in government loans, 90,000 in personal loans, and 120,000 due and demandable. Hard enough making ends meet to sustain my daily subsistence. How do I navigate myself out of this drowning in the Philippines? Oh, maybe that's 1 mil as in 1,000? No, I don't. Okay, Someone pointed out 1 million Philippine pesos is around 16,000 United States dollars.
Oh.
So I'm guessing the currency is in pesos, not USD. That makes a lot more sense.
I was gonna say, just you about to disappear, buddy.
Yeah. What's that quote? If I owe the bank $1,000, that's my problem. If I owe the bank $1 million, that's their problem. Something that not a lot of people talk about is that if you don't pay your credit card bill, there is a chance that you could be sued by the lender. It doesn't happen often. Well, actually, it probably happens more now since more people are defaulting on their loans and cards. But it is a thing that you may have to worry about.
I thought mostly what happens is it gets sold to a collection agency and then they pester you forever.
It does happen. They have the right to sue you, and really, if you're not making any effort to communicate with them why you're not making the payments or attempting to make any payment at all, they might win, and then you're double fucked. But yeah, 16,000 USD. I don't know how far that goes in the Philippines or how much the average salary is there. I mean, the unfortunate thing about debt is that really the only thing you can do is, one, stop adding on to it. So stop spending on cards if you can afford to. But that's hard to do when you're already negative money and, spending most of your paycheck on minimum monthly payments. So, I mean, there's like 3 things you can do. Stop spending on it, work more hours and get as much money as possible, and just pay off the debt. I mean, that's really all you can do.
Get married.
What?
Get married.
Get married, transfer everything into your spouse, and then murk the spouse. That's like fully legal, I think.
I was just saying, pay it off together.
Oh.
I think we should search debt as a keyword in Am I the Asshole? There might be some...
Yeah. Am I the asshole for getting someone into debt?
Ooh.
More like, are we the assholes? To be honest, I'm super confused. I, female 15, have 3 friends, Joy, Rosie, and Hani, all 15 as well. Well, Hani will be 15 this Saturday. We all bonded over not having great parents. Not a great thing to bond over, but well, I think it's important to mention that. A few days ago, Hani got sick with a stomach flu, so we all started to check on her through our group chat, and 2 days ago, Hani texted us telling us she was in lots of pain. Her parents weren't at home, they never do anything anyway. Both Joy and Rosie happened to be close to her home, so they went to see her, and from what I know, she was not okay. Now, Rosie is extremely emetophobic, and I wouldn't trust Joy with a pet rock, but they handled it well. Then I came over too and brought some things. We have all been taken care, I promise. Hanny wasn't getting better at all, and we were watching a movie when she started crying. She was literally sobbing and her breathing was fast. We didn't know what to do, and none of us can drive, so Joy called an ambulance. Turns out her appendix exploded or something like that. Okay, you're not the asshole.
So I've had appendicitis before. We got me to the hospital before it ruptured, and it's such a bad, horrible thing if it does get to that point, because it's just a buildup of bacteria and infection and all this
exploding it throughout your entire...
It's like you've been blessed by the god Nurgle. No, but it is a huge, big, super awful, horrible, could die if it ruptures.
You're never an asshole for looking out for someone else's well-being, especially in this situation, which is a life-threatening situation.
Well, I mean, if you didn't...
And they can't drive, so it's not like they even could have done anything else.
Maybe we should finish the story.
It's either that or they die. The hospital obviously called her parents, who are now upset because we got them into debt. They're extremely wealthy, so money has never been an issue at all for them, but they are upset. Our parents are too. Joy even got punished and doesn't have her phone right now, and we all feel super bad, but we didn't know what to do at the moment. Are we the assholes?
Oh my god, you guys do have awful parents.
I will say, as a 15-year-old, you probably don't have a good idea of what someone's financial situation actually is. Just because someone appears to be rich on the outside doesn't mean they actually are. But they also say, when I say wealthy, I mean they're like a Fresh Prince kind of family with the money.
Okay, so look, if you didn't call the ambulance, and a ruptured appendix is one of the most dangerous things that can just happen to you. She should have been taken to the hospital with those pains already, because there was something very clearly wrong with me when I was having symptoms. It's not something you just write out. Now, if you didn't call the ambulance, this post could have easily been, my friend died because we were too scared to call the ambulance. Am I the asshole?
Yeah, I mean, this could have had a much worse ending. People live in fear of medical debt for a reason. Like, it's completely fucked the amount that these companies will try to charge you for very simple things like an x-ray costing several $100s when it doesn't cost that much to actually operate it. But that's the fucked thing. Like, you can't just not go to the doctor. If you're gonna die, you have to go to the doctor or you die. That's why they charge so much, because they know that you have to or you die.
The other thing is, if you let these things get out of control, you're gonna end up paying way more if the issue becomes more complicated.
If what this OP is saying is true and we take it at face value, doesn't seem like great parents.
Well, also another thing, like what I was saying about saving yourself money, I've been through this before. There was something so clearly wrong with me. I mean, the pain felt like there were knives in my side that were just embedded in there. Like, literally someone surgically implanted knives, and I couldn't walk because it felt like I was cutting myself from the inside. If a daughter is dealing with that kind of pain, I mean, assuming her symptoms were the same as mine, the fact that it ruptured means she got way further into it than I did and wasn't taken to the hospital. Like, already, one, that's going to cause them so much more, and they were either going to have to pay that debt themselves or they were going to have a dead kid.
And, like, that's an awful burden to put on your kid. It already feels bad as a kid knowing that you cause, like, a financial burden on your parents, especially if they don't make very much. But to put that burden on a kid when you, A, can't afford it, and B, when you're, like, directly blaming them for something that was a medical emergency, you deserve to be put in the ground.
I was 8 years old, and I didn't know that I was going to be given surgery. And there were a bunch of people that were really nice to me. There was a family friend who was a clown that came out of retirement.
Oh,
and his
that's
clown.
so sweet.
It's the reason I'm not afraid of clowns. It's one of the essays I wrote in school. But the reason I'm not scared of clowns is because, he just wanted a sick kid to feel better. He made me a balloon octopus.
Not the asshole. Burst appendixes can literally kill a person. You saved your friend's life.
Yeah.
You did a really good thing, and you should be proud of yourself. Even if she wasn't going to die, by the way, you're not the asshole for taking your friend to the hospital because she's in, like, enough pain that she's doubled over crying. I feel so bad for everybody involved in this situation that's not the parents, because, like, she felt bad enough about this that she had to, like, go on Reddit to look for validation, because she really thought that, like, she was a piece of shit for calling the ambulance on her friend that was dying.
Well, I'm sure the parents really laid into them.
It's kind of funny that the only reason we know each other is because your appendix was going to fucking explode.
So I missed a whole lot of school because of that. Because I came back, I didn't really have a lot of friends because everybody had already met their friends. And then Michael was just kind of this little loner that thought everybody was just pure evil.
What? No, I didn't think everyone was pure evil. I just, like, enjoyed doing stuff on my own.
Oh, I thought you just thought everybody was an asshole.
I thought you were an asshole because you combed your hair on the first day of school, which makes you like a stereotypical villain in a movie.
If you thought
in the 50s.
If you thought I was an asshole for combing my hair, I'm pretty sure you would have thought the other ones were assholes for whatever reason.
I mean, that I remember that, like, so specifically about being you.
Well, point is, he was a loner. I didn't have friends, and the teacher put us together in a project over the brownie camera, and we got really creative. We made a little red yarn all over the place, like security systems to guard it. We got yarn all over the place, but we had a lot of fun, and we became friends ever since, and we've been best friends to this day.
If you haven't yet, educate yourself on interest rates, what compound interest is, how it can fuck you, and how it can help you, because those things are things that don't really get taught in school.
They want you to be poor.
It kind of seems that way, yeah.
All the information they taught us was outdated, though, if I remember correctly.
I honestly don't remember it that well.
The majority of what I remember from our high school economics course was never, ever use a credit card and never let yourself get overdraft fees, which I can set up my bank account to just not, the card doesn't work if I overdraft.
I do understand the extreme aversion to credit cards, because if you don't really understand what you're getting into with them, you will be totally fucked. But I mean, as with sexual education, informing people about what the actual, like, risk versus reward is much more effective than, like, total abstinence from, in almost every single case.
Well, yeah, because if you just don't build credit at all, you're going to hurt yourself a lot more later on, right?
In general, yes, especially if you don't have a particularly strong income. Because, like, if you're going to look for an apartment or even going to buy a house, if you don't have a super strong income or a super strong savings that you have built up over time, there's really not a whole lot that you can do. I mean, really the only reason that I was even able to get an apartment in the first place after my dad stopped co-signing for me, like, was just because like I had a really good credit history. And I mean, that was a lot due in part because my dad had me as a co-signer on his credit card, and he's like perfect with his credit card payments for like 5 years before I was actually an adult. So I like, that's an incredible like blessing if you can figure out how to make credit cards work.
But I mean, isn't it better to just make like a $5 purchase and pay it off every month than to just never engage in credit, period?
Correct. You just can't treat it like you're going to put something on it and then not think about it until the end of the month and say, oh, well, I'll pay off whatever the balance is. And then you get to the end of the month and it's like, oh, my balance is $3,000. I guess I'll just pay the minimum.
I've heard just don't spend the money you don't have.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's generally good advice. It's not something that you can always follow, though. Yeah. I'm going to look at my credit card statement for the last couple of months. When you get your credit card statement, and I'm actually looking at one of mine right now, you will see two numbers that represent if you make no additional charges using this card, and each month you only pay the minimum amount, and then they will show you an amount that you could use to pay it off within 3 years. So if I have a card that has $1,993 as a balance, as it was at this point on my statement, if I paid $83 a month, I would have that paid off in 3 years, which doesn't sound so bad, except for the fact that you will have paid $2,975 in total. So you will have almost done 50% more of your original amount in that 3 years. Now, if you only pay the minimum, which is what a lot of people do just to get by, it would take 11 years to pay to zero, and you will have paid $5,211 to pay that off, which means you will have spent more than twice the amount you initially put on the card. If you don't add anything else in that 11 years.
I'm so financially illiterate that just went in one ear and out the other ear for me.
See, I think that's the problem with a lot of people. And if you're not like having to deal with it day to day, if you're not having to deal with the actual like practical consequences of it, you probably won't think about it until you get fucked. Anyway, I mean, the short answer is this. If you pay the number that they tell you is the minimum you have to pay, it will take you 11 years to pay off a debt, and you'll end up paying more than 2 times the amount. There are certain credit cards where even if you pay the minimum, you will never pay it off because the interest that accrues every month is more than the amount of the minimum payment. So if you make that minimum payment every month, it will only grow forever. This isn't financial advice, by the way, because I'm legally not allowed to give it. This is just all stuff that I have learned and that I practice. And so I'm just saying, from my perspective, this is how I treat debt. This one could be interesting. Am I the asshole for making my daughter pay back $6,000 for destroying her stepsister's purse? When my daughter was around 10, I remarried to her stepmom, who had her own daughter who was 9. They got along for the most part until recently. In short, my daughter is jealous. I'll call my daughter Ash.
Gotta catch
my stepdaughter, Emma, fake name, has recently reconnected with her grandparents on her father's side. The grandparents have money to burn and are retired. I want to point out that before they came into the picture, my daughter was the one to receive nicer gifts from her mom's side of the family. Example, there have been a few times Ash went on vacations that my stepdaughter wasn't allowed to go on or got more expensive stuff. I can't stop my ex-wife on spoiling her or her family. So the issue has been Ash has been jealous of Emma recently because Emma's grandparents are giving her stuff. That stuff will sometimes be in our home. I'm not going to ban her bringing her gifts to her place she lives at 50% of the time. That's fair. One example is Emma got the newest phone and my daughter wanted her iPhone upgraded. I told her we don't have the money at the moment, and she said it was unfair her stepsister got the newest phone. She wasn't very happy. We had a conversation and brought up the stuff she has gotten, but Emma hasn't over the years. Ash is 16 and Emma is 15. Emma's grandparents got her a $6,000 purse for back to school. I don't get it, but Emma seemed to really like and that she is using it. It's her first real purse. My daughter was jealous when she saw it because she knew the brand. Ash asked if she could borrow it, and Emma told her no. They got into an argument, and I stopped it and reiterated that it was Emma's. Well, Ash decided to destroy the purse. She cut some of the leather and popped some of the seams. My wife's ex-husband was pissed, and my wife replaced the purse with her own money. We really don't have that to blow. I discussed it with my wife, and we are making Ash pay back the purse. We already took $4,000 that she earned this summer from her job and made it clear that for her next paychecks, she is to give us 50% until it's paid. Ash has been upset some, and she ran to her room, who has had a lot of things to say about this. She claims we are being too harsh. Fuck.
I wonder how the person who's in super crippling debt would react to a 13-year-old or whatever girl running around with a $6,000 purse.
Yeah. Emma is 15 and has a $6,000 purse. I really don't know what to make of this because I don't think they should have replaced it in the first place if they can't afford to. I feel like if they were gonna reclaim the money for it from the other girl, they should have put her on a payment plan to begin with and not bought the purse outright.
I have like an evil way to solve this and a good guy way to solve this. Which one do you want first?
Is it gonna be like the Bible story where they cut the baby in half and give one half to each other?
No, we got the New Testament now.
Okay.
So what do you want first, evil or good?
I mean, the evil one's gonna be more entertaining, so I'll take the evil one.
Okay. The evil one is use this as a lesson to the children that life isn't fair. If you want expensive gifts, you gotta schmooze up to people and you get more from it.
She didn't smooze up her grandparents. She was just born that way.
I thought they liked her more.
They like her more because it's like their biological granddaughter.
Oh, okay.
Where the other one is like a stepdaughter. Which I think that whole dynamic is kind of fucked. And the fact that they allow that to go on is kind of fucked. I understand that you don't want to have to take away her stuff just because she's being treated better. But you're forming a dynamic between your daughters where they're gonna fucking hate each other and they're gonna hate you for not treating them equally.
Okay, then. So impart the lesson that unfortunately people are born with more resources, and she's gonna have to find a way to maybe get in the good graces of the grandparents and maybe get an expensive gift of her own.
That's just bad advice. That's just straight bad advice. That doesn't make sense.
I told you this one was evil. Okay, but jokes aside, what I would actually do is one, I'm a parent. I can say no $6,000 gifts to one of my children.
Yeah, have a fucking conversation with the mom's parents. What makes this more complicated is that she's the child of another marriage, so the mom doesn't agree with the stepdad on this, and that's going to make things a lot harder. But I feel like you have to have the conversation with the grandparents. Like, I understand that you want to do nice things for your granddaughter.
I would find some way to just strongly voice that I don't want $6,000 in the house, gifts in the house, to, just cause that chaos between children, because that's what's going to happen. The other thing, no, I'm not going to make the kid pay $6,000 in debt. I mean, I don't think either child should be around such an expensive item in the first place. I mean, kids are going to do stupid stuff and replace stuff. Now, I do think for the malice, you should punish them with, no fun stuff for a while. And I mean, not a slap on the wrist.
Honestly, I'm totally fine if you're going to say, I want you to spend, this much to replace your sister's purse. And even if that's half of that, maybe I still think it's fucked to allow your child to be in that much debt. But at the same time, she knows how much the purse is worth, and she did just destroy it.
I feel like an angry 16-year-old is not going to make fully thought out decisions when they're that upset.
This should be a good lesson for that, though. There's no way she's gonna fucking do that again.
Oh, no, for sure.
The only concern that I have is I don't feel like she's gonna learn the right lesson from this. I'd be concerned that the lesson she's gonna learn is that my sister gets all the good things in life. There's no retribution to be had. Which I guess is a good lesson. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Now you're going into the evil side.
Yeah, I'm curious what the comments say. Not the asshole. Actions have consequences. You're a good dad for enforcing them. How could those consequences possibly be too harsh? They are the definition of the punishment should fit the crime. Ash destroyed a purse. Ash needs to replace that purse. Yeah, I get that. The number really throws me off because I also know like $6,000 is a lot of money for me now. I can't imagine having to work that back up as a 16-year-old. Yeah, I do think this is a lesson better learned early.
My thing is, I would have not wanted the $6,000 purse in the house to begin with. That's where it gets a little muddy for me.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Like, if it was a situation where both girls were given a $6,000 purse and they both have one and one just destroyed the other one, then yes, I'd say either replace it or she has to give
it. The vacation thing is really fucked too, because that's also like, we want to spend time with this specific grandchild and not the other one. But I also get like, it's not their biological grandchild. I don't know. That the whole thing is fucking messy. I don't think there's really a good guy in this story. The parents suck because they're not intervening. The grandparents suck because they're playing favorites. And the stepchildren suck because one destroyed the bag.
I mean, it sounds like the dad's just trying his best.
Now, fuck the dad. And I'll fuck the dad, too. That was a good one. I like that one.
Yeah.
It's very messy. Am I the asshole for paying off my boyfriend's $7,000 debt with my parents' money? My parents' money is in quotes for some reason. As the title implies, I, 21 female, paid my boyfriend's 26 male debt. That's an interesting age gap. And now my parents, specifically and kind of only my mom, are really unhappy. So here's all the context that's probably needed. My family lives very comfortably. I wouldn't say we're rich, like we're not sharing a tax bracket with Bezos, but we're comfortable and we've never really been worried about bills and stuff like most people. I do have a job that I've saved a lot of money from, but my parents also give me a pretty big allowance, most of which enters my savings as well. So her parents already give her a shit ton of money? I'm going to add this next descriptive part only because I want to give my mom the benefit of the doubt. But yes, my boyfriend is not the typical man a parental figure would jump at their daughter dating. He has a lot of body tattoos. He doesn't have facial tattoos, but from his neck to his legs, it's pretty much ink. He also has some piercings, and he's overall a very large and intimidating person. Finally, and please don't judge, but as a teenager, he did face time in prison. I'm adding these details because I want to be fair to my mom's perspective, and I can see why someone with those things looks like a red flag. Those are also her main reasons for disliking him. A little over a week ago, I was out at my boyfriend's house alone since he was out at work. I don't live with him, but I like hanging around his place. On that day, I opened the door to some people asking about my boyfriend. I'll sum it up by saying they were debt collectors, but I'm not going to go into the reason for the debt or otherwise. Okay. It was kind of a rash decision, but I decided to cover it. My boyfriend is really sweet. He pays for basically everything for me. He spoils me a lot, and it's not even a really easy thing for him to do since he doesn't come from money. And most of the little extra cash he does have is from amateur boxing on the side of his real job. Since I am comfortable enough to have my schooling, utilities, and housing covered, I have a pretty hefty amount saved. So I just did it kind of without thinking. Okay, so now I'm interested. Because it sounds like she paid it out of her own savings, which, yes, her parents do give her an allowance, but it was her own decision. So as long as it wasn't from their, like, direct pockets, I don't have a problem so far. Your boyfriend does sound like kind of a deadbeat, but it's fine.
I was going to say, is there a third option just to call them stupid?
I mean, yeah. You shouldn't be paying off debt for somebody that you're not married to, ideally. And now I'm a hypocrite by saying that, but
also one little funny thing, we don't know what the debt's for, but if the debt is for buying the girl stuff all the time and she's just buying the stuff for herself with interest.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't know what the debt's for, but I choose to believe that's what it is because it's
that's
funny.
A big component, because if these are like are these debt collectors or are these like break your kneecap like loan shark drug guys? That takes, like, I need that context to say.
Also, for all you've given us, it could have just been a scam. There may have may have been no debt. Oh, we should do a scam video.
I've thought about it. There are a couple things I'd like to go over with the scam video. I like that was going to be part of like the Liver King thing,
okay,
which we do still need to make. My parents can see the activity in the shared account I have with them, so my mom shared account? My parents can see the activity in the shared account I have with them, so my mom called me like only a few hours after asking what I purchased, and I told her the truth and she's totally furious at me. She hates my boyfriend's guts, basically, and she thinks he's a deadbeat, even though I told her he didn't make me pay it. It feels like since yesterday, me and her have been arguing nonstop since that day. My dad is mostly neutral, even though he hates my boyfriend too. My mom has been trying to convince him to stop giving me money, and she's claiming I'm a little thief. I'll admit I probably only covered like 1,000 of the debt with my own earned money, and the rest was given by them. But a gift is a gift, and I feel like I can do what I want with the money they put in my account. The joint account thing confuses me, because yes, a gift is a gift, but there might be like strings on that's like part of their agreement. I don't know. Please give me my advice. Like, I can see why my mom's mad. I'd be upset about my kids dating a guy like my boyfriend, but I wouldn't do all this over it. I mean, yeah, very stupid decision, I will say. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense that he's spending money on you while he's $7,000 in debt.
I mean, he could be the nicest guy ever, and this is still recklessly stupid. And I've like met people that have had a lot less red flags that ended up being completely pure evil. So I even if the person had no red flags, I wouldn't just be dumping money on their debts like that.
But so far, I don't think asshole. Like, I think just like young, stupid, and in love with a guy that doesn't deserve it.
No, actually, I've decided. No, they're an asshole. If I gave my kid allowance and they did something that stupid with it, you're an asshole.
But it's their right to do that.
Yeah.
Update. So I apologized to my mom. My dad didn't want to cut me off, but I told him to stop the allowance anyways to make my mom happy. But it's only for a couple months. My boyfriend is paying me back. He's paid me back $700 since the post was created. He was mad about me paying it, but he said he was a little bit grateful and it would be easier to pay me back than the people he originally owed. That's a red flag because I don't have tight deadlines and some other stuff. Red flag.
Is your boyfriend's name Everest?
What?
Well, because, there's flags on the mountain that you climb.
My favorite Dave Ramsey quote.
So when you loan your friend money, they are no longer your friend. They are your friend as a secondary thing. Their primary relationship is now slave and master. Yeah.
I do think that's pretty true to an extent. If you owe somebody money on an interpersonal level, you should not feel any better about owing them money than some credit card company. And you should feel like more of an urgency to pay that back, I feel. Like, I understand that legally there's no tie saying that you have to pay it back that quick, but it does kind of make you seem like an asshole that you're saying, oh, this is so good because I'm not going to have to pay you back so early.
I feel like if someone does something so incredibly stupid with the power that I gave them, I would just look at them in the stupid thing they did, and I'm just like, stupid asshole. Yeah. And that's why I say asshole.
That's kind of all. Nothing else happened except I'm kind of broke now, lol. Answering questions. No, my boyfriend was not happy about it. No, my boyfriend isn't a deadbeat. And no, it wasn't about drugs. Me and my boyfriend have only been together a year? You paid out $7,000?
That was $1,000.
$7,000.
Oh.
No, she only paid $1,000 of like her own earned money outside of like the stipend that her parents give her. For someone you've been together with a year, I'm totally fine with wanting to help your partner with their debt. Helping them create a plan and maybe even, contributing here and there if they're doing a good job. This isn't a person that you have a long-lasting relationship with. You have no idea if you're going to be together in another year.
Well, take the person thing out of it. If you just recklessly spend that much on someone else's debt for whatever reason, or just recklessly spend that much money into a hole that doesn't really benefit you, especially when part of it is someone else's money, technically.
It's not really.
I mean, also, she didn't work for that money. I feel like it's easier, like the parents did, I would assume. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. It is easier to spend money that's not yours for a lot of people.
To recklessly spend $7,000 or whatever dollars like that is like a huge concern of mine.
Yeah, I've never spent $7,000 on anything. Like my car, technically, but it took me 3 years to do that. And it's, something that I own. You're the asshole. Legitimate debt collectors don't come to your house to collect. Your parents should just cut you off so you don't blow the rest of your money on whatever shady shit your boyfriend is doing.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, they could have been fake debt collectors.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that she literally just went to, like, her bank and withdrew a bunch of cash and handed it to them, or what? I don't know. You're the asshole. You're a 21-year-old girl paying a grown man's debt with your parents' money. What about this situation would make you think that you're not the asshole? If he has money for head-to-toe tattoos, he has money for bills, and you're a fool. Yes. Once the money is given to OP, it's OP's money, not parents' money. Honestly, doesn't make her less of an asshole for using your parents' money to bail out an adult man when she has no idea why she owes. You're the asshole. You're right that a gift is a gift, but your parents are completely in their right to be upset and cut you off. According to you, you earn enough to be comfortable on your own. Time to prove it. I don't get why that would make her an asshole though. She said she was like totally fine with them like cutting off the stipend.
I'm of the opinion that if you're doing something that stupid and refusing to see how stupid, it makes me upset and you're an asshole for doing that. That's how I reason it.
It's hard for me to say because it seems like her heart's in the right place. She's just really stupid.
So she's an asshole.
His extra cash he spends on you could have paid that $7,000 on his own. So his spoiling you is on your own dime. Correct. Debt collectors don't show up in person. That's illegal. I didn't know that. He owed somebody money from doing something shady, period.
I wonder if they gave her like a Venmo QR code and that's how they asked to be paid.
That'd be really funny. He didn't mention what the debt was for. I'm very curious as to what he or they tried to tell you it was. I can almost guarantee you that whatever it was a lie. So he's up to something shady and has likely lied to you. If you're an adult and your parents want to freely give you money, you're free to do with it what you want. But they're free to stop giving you that money too. I don't get how that makes OP the asshole.
I do. I feel like if you're just that stupid with that amount of
resources. If they continued to do it with like the money being given after they expressly said that, well, don't do that.
Okay, again, let's go back to the people we were talking about earlier. You're living paycheck to paycheck. You're perpetually $300 negative. Your husband's disabled, collecting disability. And you see some girl just blow $7,000 as some stupid asshole. I would look at that and just be like, you asshole.
I'd be like, you dumb motherfucker. If my daughter did that, I'd be like, you dumb motherfucker.
I think for some people, dumb motherfucker and asshole are the same thing, and I'm one of those people.
There's an extent where it gets to that. I'm also looking this at the viewpoint of like, she's grown up in like a very rich family. Yeah. She's probably never struggled to do anything in her life. She may not realize the magnitude of what she's doing.
So she's an asshole. Let's look up the definition of an asshole.
This is awful. Why did I look that up?
That reminds me of the lady's mouth when
Why did I do that?
When she said she made a TikTok. Because her mouth opened wide.
Oh my god. Yeah, so leave your debt stories in the comments below.
Or maybe leave funny stories in the comments and we'll read them. Oh, too much soda.
There's soda in that?
Yeah.
I thought you were drinking water this whole time. That's like a liter of soda.
Diet.